Today's episode of GarageBand Weekly is brought to you by the Studio Live Today Gear Guide. If you'd like to check out what I use in the home and mobile studio, head on over to studiolivetoday.com/gear.
GarageBand, GarageBand Weekly, GarageBand, GarageBand Weekly, GarageBand, GarageBand Weekly. If we need an answer to your question, John, you'll have a suggestion. He's a fountain of all knowledge. I think he might have gone to GarageBand College. What he doesn't know, we'll try and find out. So join the chat and give him a shout. Hey, John. Hey, John. GarageBand Weekly.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Oh wow, what a great start to the show. We will just remove a few things here and we'll the best laid plans, and that's what happens. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to GarageBand Weekly. My name is Pete Johns and I'm a professional. I've been doing this for many years. Can you tell? Yeah. On the show today, we've got some news and notes for you. We'll be saying g'day to the fine folks who are here with us live in just a jiffy. And our feature topic is looking at gear, setting up a home or mobile studio. Now's the time to do it. It's Cyber Monday, and it is the time of the year where everything goes on sale. And if you're going to buy stuff, you don't have to buy gear. You know what? Use what you got. But if you're going to buy gear, now's the time to do it. Whew, there we go. Welcome to everyone. Let's say good day to the folks who are here live. If you're on the replay, by the way, and you want to jump straight into the gear chat, hit the description because I've got timestamps down there for you. You can jump straight into the part where we start talking about the gear. But for now, let's say g'day to hello, Rox. Hello to Mark Bro. G'day, Thomas Christ. The Rise of the Dark Leela. G'day, Jerry Gomes. Always good to see you. Ms. Jade Star. We've got Pookie Ann. Not to be confused with Pukey Ann, which I accidentally call her sometimes. Jenny Jolivet, hello to you. I hope you are well. Tremor Bear, g'day Danny, g'day Ashley. Hello to all the fine folks. Yeah, no, it wasn't you. It was me. Yeah, I've been experimenting. I've been playing around with a few things, and it's that thing where you know how in rehearsal things work perfectly, and then you go to do it on the real version, and just everything falls apart. Yeah, that. It's fun times. It's good stuff. Welcome aboard. This is GarageBand Weekly, and as you heard at the start there, we are brought to you by the Gear Guide. I sponsor my own show. That's how cool it is. Let's see if this is working now. There you go. See, everything's working perfectly now. So if you want to go and check out the Gear Guide, we'll be diving in there a bit later because I'm going to do something interesting. I'm going to dive into Sweetwater and pretend I'm setting up from scratch and go shopping, go fantasy shopping, and see if there's any good deals out there for us to buy some stuff. But yeah, if you're using Amazon or eBay or Thoman or Sweetwater, use the Gear Guide. Those are affiliate links. If you use them, you pay the same amount, but they break off a chunk and they send it my way. So you will be being cool. And we appreciate you when you're cool. Let's dive in to the news and the notes of the week. G'day, Hugh Caldwell as well. Thank you for being here. And Chris Pissy, if I didn't say g'day to you. The news and the notes of the week. So the coolest thing that's happened this week, I'm going to say it's GarageBand related. It's GarageBand adjacent because I happen to know for a fact that a lot of the folks who created music for this project did it using GarageBand, and that is the Music for Life charity album that our mate Russ 8889 put together. It was debuted on Jade Starr's show. If you watched Your Music Live yesterday, you saw 3 of the tracks from this on Your Music Live as well. One from me, one from Jade Starr, and one from, who was it? It was Viv and Nasia. Jade chose their track to play. So this is cool. This is what Russ has put together. It's supporting the Teenage Cancer Trust. It's called Music for Life, a YouTube collaboration for Teen Cancer Trust. And there's a 2-volume album that you can pick up. 44 songs, more than 50 artists, and it is super, super duper cool. So what you can do is jump into Bandcamp. The link is down in the description. You can check that one out. You can also use that link there that Thomas has provided for you right here in the chat if you're here live. Sign into your Bandcamp and buy the album, because if you jump in here, you'll see, look at all these cool artists here. I mean, you got your Jade Star, you got your Vero, Pole Vault, Roddy, Rock and Roddy Ward, you got Hypnotic Transmissions. Go further down, Howling Fret Fumbler, you got Ian Luckett and Tremor Bear. You got Chris Lane Sr., you got so many of the cool cats in this community. If you go to volume 2, it continues on. You got a little bit of me. You got my new song there. You've got some Nasia in there. You got some Thomas Christ in there. You got the Doctor, Zorders. You got some Hugh Caldwell. You got it's just too much. The best of the best, exactly right. The best of the best in that one. So go and check that one out. You'll be supporting. You can pay what you want to. That's the cool thing. Russ has set this up so if you go to Bandcamp, pay whatever you want. And again, a lot of these creators are part of this community. They share their processes. They've learnt from me and other people in this community to create. Many of them use GarageBand and use the tips and tricks that we talk about on this very show to make that awesome music. So that kind of makes me feel a bit proud too, because I feel like I've had a little bit of a part of it, not to pat myself on the back too hard, but some of the folks that are creating music there, yeah, they've learnt from Jade and me and Tom and all the people in the community, which is super duper cool. The song that I submitted for that one is now also available. I haven't released it yet using DistroKid. I'm sure that'll be happening soon, but you can check that one out on the YouTube. I've put together a little visualization there and just dropped that overnight, so a couple of hours ago, so you can go and check that one out. That is called 1%. It is officially the shortest title of a YouTube video ever. 2 characters. I think when I submitted it, YouTube said, "Are you sure? Videos with titles with 2 characters usually are not a great idea. Why don't you go with more?" And I went, no, 1%. And if you didn't realize, 1% is about the 1% of people who have the means and have the opportunity and have the power and have the ability to help people, and instead choose to buy yachts and buy islands and pad their individual wealth to extents that are completely unnecessary for a human. Not talking about anyone whose site we may be looking at a little bit later. Love you, Jeffrey. What else we got? Logic Pro 1.1. If you haven't checked out Logic Pro 1.1, it's actually pretty cool. A lot of the things that were maybe a little bit dodgy in some other versions, in the first version, are now working. For instance, I've been playing around here with this, which is Numa Player, which is actually now, let's just see if my audio is actually working after that epic start there. Let's see. Yeah. So Numa Player, if you're not familiar, is a free audio unit instrument. So if you've never played around with AUV3 plugins, Numa Player now works. It's a little bit sluggish, to be honest, but it now works. And a lot of the other plugins that were having issues in Logic Pro version 1 and 1.01, in version 1.1, they're now working well. There's also a bunch of cool new features, which I have let you know about in a recent video. In fact, I've gone through the 8 most important features of Logic Pro version 1.1. That video is linked in the description. So once you've watched this, if you're interested, and look, I know this is called GarageBand Weekly, but if you're interested in Logic Pro or checking out Logic Pro, don't forget there's a 30-day free trial that you can check out. If you want to do that, then you can go and do that and check out the 8 coolest features, because maybe things like the mastering assistant is something that you think is really cool. Using the recorder in the sampler is really cool. You got 32-bit float in there now, which, hey, maybe you just bought yourself a brand new audio interface or you're in the market for one, and maybe you want to make sure you get the highest quality audio, then yeah, you may want to check that out. So Logic Pro version 1.1. Is that to say that GarageBand doesn't do an amazing job? No, it's absolutely fine. And the one thing that I didn't have listed there is I just wanted to put out there, I've been on Mac OS Sonoma, the latest Mac OS version, and it's actually working really well. Some of the issues I was having in the last couple of versions with sound, with pops and clicks, with other little niggles and issues don't seem to be happening here. My Google Chrome is running a lot better in this new version of Mac OS. So I have had 0 issues with the update, and everything's working well. GarageBand's working well in that. So yeah, and be aware that 32-bit float and 32-bit are two different things. Yeah, maybe I need to do a video on that. 32-bit versus 32-bit float. In fact, that's going in the list right here and right now, because yeah, you're right, there are different things. And to be honest, I probably don't know all the details of what's different, because 32-bit float uses it is different. And I get confused because there's so many different things. There's bit rate, there's bit depth, and there's sampling rate. And they're three completely separate things that a lot of people confuse for the same thing. But yeah, there's no real harm putting 32-bit float on. If your stuff doesn't use it, it won't use it, but you might as well have the best quality in your recordings. So that is our news and notes, but don't forget that this is an interactive show. So if you do have a question, you can just put the word question or big Q in front of your question, and you will be able to ask that. I thought I'll just throw out here before we dive in is the wonderful Jade Star just premiered. She's been doing a really cool series this month where she's been wandering about the place, showing off the beauty of Australia, getting out there in nature and doing some walking and talking about various different things. And she was kind enough to talk about little old me today, which is always very humbling. And you know, I'm a weird, awkward little guy, as Jade would say, but I do appreciate it, and it was very fun to watch that. And the whole series is cool. I haven't caught many of them live because it's right at my prime time of wrangling children in the morning. But yeah, it's been very cool to watch those. So go and check out. I know many of you have already seen these, but for those that maybe haven't, it's really cool to see, just to chat about some various different things, because while the music's important, the people are importanter. And the gear's important, but the people are also important. Yeah, there you go. There's the one. And Thomas Christ was yesterday. Yeah, UR22C is 32-bit fixed, not float, which is why I was having no difference when I was recording. I was doing some test recordings. I'm like, oh yeah, mine doesn't actually have 32-bit float because it's old, and it's just 32-bit. Righty, quick drink from my studio. I should have put a discount code on this. Maybe we'll do that later. StudioLiveToday.com/merch. Buy your mugs and your t-shirts and all the rest of it. But you know what? Let's see if I can do that now. This is doing things on the fly. If you haven't been at this show before, this is kind of how we roll around here. This is more of our just general chit chat show. Oh, I've gone to the wrong website. But you love it when so I'm trying to go to teespring.com where I host my stuff. I can't even get it. I can't type it right. All these places have renamed themselves. So what used to be Teespring is now Spring, and it's all a bit different. Yes, you can grab the merch there. I'll just see if I think we've already got a discount code set up. The Rode NT1 5th Gen is 32-bit float, works amazingly. Yeah, and I think the new Focusrite, Scarlett 4th Gen, are they 32-bit float? I believe they are. But yeah, we'll look at that in just a moment. Why can't I log into it? I can't set that up. I'll do that after the show, and I'll put a link down in the description to where you can do that. If you're Patreon, you can use the Patreon merch link as well. Yeah, create a spring or something. I don't know. It's a bit out there. Alrighty, let's dive in. Don't forget, if you've got questions, just throw them in as we go through. But we are going to dive into our feature topic, which is gear chat. Now, before I talk about gear, I usually say a couple of things. Firstly, let's say the legal thing, which is that I'm an affiliate of Amazon, Sweetwater, Thomann, and eBay. Now, what does that mean? It means that when there's a link in my descriptions of my videos, when there's a link on my website, when there's a link over at the Gear Guide, that link is an affiliate link, meaning that if you make a purchase, you pay the same amount for what you buy, but they break off a chunk and send it to me. That's something I am legally obligated to tell you, and every time I talk about the links, I will tell you that. You do need to be careful, because sometimes people will promote gear and they'll tell you that something's really good and they won't disclose that, not necessarily. So just be wary of that sometimes if someone says something's really good, or if you're reading reviews of gear that say it's amazing, that's not always 100% genuine. So always look for the person behind the words when you're looking into gear. So that's kind of tip number one. And look, it's buyer beware. I was talking to my wife about this with scams, and there's so many scams and scammers out there that are doing dodgy things these days. Your inboxes and your messages, you can't get away from it now. Even on your mobile phones now, you're going to have messages in there saying, you haven't paid your e-toll. You have a package waiting for you. Click here to give us your details. You're late on your payment for your electricity. We're about to cut you off. All of this is BS, and unfortunately, in the world of buying stuff, there's a lot of BS that goes on as well. So I'm going to give you a little bit of an education as we go through with this here today. So again, here's my gear guide. There's my mobile setup. This is all the gear that I currently use in my mobile setup. I've got to update that because I actually use the latest version, the USB-C AirPods Pro. But everything from my actual iPad, well, technically, that is my iPad. I have a loaner of an M2 iPad at the moment, but my iPad that I use and that I own and recommend is still the iPad Pro 2020. So yeah, John should do a little bit of updating here, but this is all the gear that I use for my mobile setup, and this is my desktop setup, my reliable old Mac Mini M1, my Zoom Live Track mixer, my Audio Technica AT 2020, the M Audio Keystation 49, etc. there. So that's not to say that's what you need to use, because if you scroll on down, we've got a whole bunch of other gear. Here's the master list. This is all the gear that I've used and recommended in the past, past, present, and maybe future, including the webcam that I use right here as well. And then all the other gear here is like a recommendation around all the different sort of audio interfaces, all the different microphones that I've used and recommended and you might want to check out, USB mics, iPhone mics there as well, the adapters, the cameras that I use, the mixers that I use, the headphones that I use, speakers, etc. So it's all there. But again, if you're just shopping for something and you want to do me a solid, all you need to do is, let's say you are in the US, you would go here to Amazon, you click on US, and you dive in, which we'll do. I've never received a scam message saying that I need more bacon. Yeah, no, doesn't happen, does it? No. All right. We've got a couple of questions here, and for some people to say g'day to. Joe and Barry, g'day to you. Hello, Lady Campion. I hope you are doing well. And yeah, if you would like to hit the like button, you are welcome to do so. Sean Chandler, g'day to you as well. Hello to our old friend Jan de Blues. And sorry, I say old in terms of I know I've known you a long time. Last week I installed the newest GarageBand version. Since then, when I released a key of my iRig's I/O keyboard, the note was played again. Terrible. With Time Machine, I put the old version back. What could be wrong? Musical typing worked okay. That is strange. So the iRig Keys I/O, which is a good little keyboard, and so what you're saying is you're getting the hit down, and it's also registering another note hit on the release. Yeah, that sounds to me more like an issue with the drive. Maybe not the driver, because is there a driver on Mac for the iRig Keys on Mac? Let's do a little investigation, shall we? It's probably a good question, Jan, for the GarageBand users Facebook group if you haven't already asked it there. But let's just go iRig Keys I/O, which is a great little piece of kit. Mac driver. Let's see if they have any information about this for any drivers that may be available. So there's the info. Yes, we'll accept all the cookies. By the way, if you haven't seen these things, they're super cool. It's a keyboard and an audio interface and everything all like baked into one piece of kit. It's actually really cool, but it's very sad that it's not working. Thankfully, Jan was smart and he had the Time Machine set up to be able to do this. Because it's class compliant, so you're probably not even running any running any drivers, and there probably aren't any drivers available for it. No. I'd have to go through the support. It would be, yeah, it's probably outside of the scope of being able to look at right now, but that's sort of what I'd go to look at. Yeah, check in with IK, but that is very weird that it would just do that. It's probably a GarageBand bug going to the new version they've probably fixed a bug to do with something to do with MIDI notes, and then it's added this bug. This seems to be what happens a lot of the time with new updates, is that they fix a bug and create a new one, which is never fun, right? Hello to over there on the Twitch to Stigprod. Thank you for joining us. And go to Lady Campion as well. Yeah, no driver. There is controller software, but no driver. Yeah, so I don't. Yeah, because it's class compliant. There wouldn't be a driver, so it's got to be whatever's baked into GarageBand or to Mac OS. So that's bummer. Yeah, I think you're right. I think they're all just class compliant, so there wouldn't be drivers. G'day, the Falcro. Thank you for being here as well. So yeah, sorry, Jan, but no, I'm not sure what the solution would be there, apart from reaching out to IK. IK are pretty good with their support, so maybe go through the IK website and see if they've had similar reports from folks. But yeah, outside of that, it's going to be tough. And you've done the right thing in the short term, so maybe you just have to stay on the older version and sit tight until it gets fixed, which is a bummer. It's actually a good reminder that have a Time Machine backup with your Mac. If you haven't set up Time Machine, you need an external hard drive. You set up Time Machine, and then it basically creates a whole copy of your whole system, so that you can say, oh, something went horribly wrong, rewind, take me back to the version I had installed 3 days ago, and then you can actually fix things using that. So make sure you have that set up. And if you're in the middle of a big major project, don't update things. So don't update your software because things like that can and do happen. Time machines used to be physical products sold by Apple. I think so, yeah. It didn't used to be able to buy like a little time machine thing, like a little separate device, and they had their whole thing. Oh no! See, my audio is cracking sometimes. That's probably the problem. See, I thought we'd got over this problem. I thought we'd fixed this problem with Google Chrome in macOS Sonoma, but this was our first test of that. So I guess not. If it becomes really bad, we'll dive into a different. Should we dive? Should we do that now? Should we jump out and come back into to Firefox, or should we keep going? Let me know if it's terrible. I'll keep going for now, but otherwise, it looks like I'm back to Firefox. I'm trying. Sounds like it's happening for a few folks. Why don't we jump out? Just crack on. All right, just crackle on. Oh man. See, this is the problem with gear. Don't buy gear. Let's go and buy gear. Let's go shopping, shall we? Let's jump in here. Hello, Kevin Woodruff. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Let's go shopping. Not overly distracting. Stay on course. All right, let's do this. So, as we mentioned before, if you want to go and shop for your gear, you can do so by using that. Sweetwater are actually one of. If you're in the US, I hear nothing but good things about Sweetwater. And I just got an email this morning saying that they've got a whole bunch of Cyber Week deals here, which look like they're pretty cool. For instance, they've got the, speaking of IK Multimedia, they've got the IK Multimedia iRig HD X guitar interface. Their X series of stuff here is super cool. The iRig stuff. I haven't actually used it yet. I really must pick one of these up. But I've used the iRig Pro series and the iRig HD series for a long time. These have all been updated now. USB-C. They've got that cool auto gain feature on there. So if you're looking for a guitar interface, that's definitely going to be a way to go. But why don't we build ourselves a studio from the ground up? So what's the first thing? Let's put it out here to the chat. If you were starting with nothing, what's the first thing that you think you would need in the home studio? So I'll give you some Jeopardy music. Do 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 do. While you think about that, third person says we got a MacBook Pro that needed some extra software to update to Sonoma. It's only 4 years old, 2019. Apple is crazy sometimes, but it's an amazing device. It is an amazing device. I didn't have a great experience with Sweetwater customer service, but the equipment I got from them is fine. Yeah, that's a shame, and that's surprising because the vast majority of folks say that they have a good experience. A computer, yeah, device. That's a good thing. A device. When you buy from Sweetwater, they include a bag of candy with your shipment. New stuff and candy is brilliant. There you go. G'day, Barry. Hope you're doing well. Audio interface. Yeah, a 2-in, 2-out interface. So yeah, I like the fact, and in fact, I like Danny's point here, that you need a device, don't you? So you need to have either an iPhone or an iPad or a computer. And what you use is actually totally up to you. So if we come here to the gear guide, so say you wanted to be a mobile creator and you're like, oh, Pete says that the 2020 iPad Pro is actually a pretty good deal. Yeah, you can come in here and pick yourself up a 11-inch Apple 2020 iPad Pro for like $753. Pretty good deal. And the thing is, if you're buying an iPad, you can use that for a lot of other things as well. You may already own an iPhone and just be able to use that. You may already have yourself a Mac or a PC as well. But the cool thing is, if you're looking for, say, like a Mac Mini M1, so if you want to get into GarageBand, there's some really good deals on some original OG Macs. So this one here, $539. So even cheaper to get yourself into something like this. So 8 gig of RAM, 512 gig SSD storage. That's about the minimum I go for these days. I mean, the Mac I'm using right now has 256 gigabytes of storage. So that's a pretty good machine to get you started with. And of course, you can use a PC, and PCs are ubiquitous and pretty cheap to pick up wherever you go. So whatever you use, the thing to consider about what you want to use is the software that you're going to use. So are you happy with GarageBand or Logic Pro on an iPad, GarageBand on an iPhone? You want to use FL Studio or Cubase, something like that? Do you want to use Pro Tools? Well, then you probably need a higher end Mac to do Pro Tools stuff. Do you want to use a Fruity Loop Studio? Well, you can use pretty much anything with that. But yeah, you do need a thing, and it's probably overlooked a lot of the time. We just got started with just the iPad. And that's the thing. When you're starting out, you can go with the base model. And at the moment, even if you go to buy new, because you don't have to use John's snazzy links here, but if you just go to Apple and you jump in here and go and just pick up a standard iPad, you can get the even the 9th gen. My daughters have this one. It's from $549 Australian. And that's because we're here in Australia land. If you're in US, it is even cheaper than that, from $329. So it's actually a really good deal to pick yourself up something like that. Trimmer Bear got a new MacBook Pro and sort of new iPad 12.9. There you go. And that's the other cool thing about gear, is that you can upgrade as you go. You're not stuck with what you start with. You can continue upgrading as you go. Falco has the 10th gen, best tablets I've ever used. Yes, the 10th gens are definitely the sweet spot right now. If you want the best balance of price and performance, buy this. 10.9-inch screen, A14 Bionic chip. That's the same one that's in like the iPhones 14s or 13s. USB-C, so you got supported for all the gear. And that's the main thing to think about, is what ports are you going to have? Because you need to plug your gear that you buy into the right sort of port. So if you're using an iPad, look, I know this is going to be people that have been around for a while are like, Johnson's about to go into his spiel about the Lightning to USB 3 adapter. And of course I am, because that's how I roll. So if you're using a mobile setup, you need to use a genuine Apple Lightning to USB-C, Lightning to USB 3 adapter. And it's so important that I have it listed right here under Lightning adapter. So this one here, and yes, it's expensive, but if you're using a Lightning based iPhone or iPad, just buy this and forget about it, because this lets you set up a proper USB bridge from your device to a USB device, and it has Lightning power pass through as well. So it means you can keep your iPhone or your iPad charged while plugging in an audio interface, while plugging in a USB microphone, a USB MIDI keyboard. And if you then take my other advice and use a powered USB hub, which I do here, something like this 10 DAC powered USB hub I've been using and recommending for years, which is a Cyber Monday deal, then you'll be good to go there as well. This just allows you to plug up to 4 devices and power them. It's even got a charging port there as well, so you can charge your device, you can keep all your devices charged, and then plug that in and power it all at the same time. So yeah, let's go with that. We'll add one of those to our cart, shall we? Oh, is it going to let me? Because I'm not signed in. No, it's not going to let me. We'll have to do. Well, we'll do it. We'll do a virtual thing. So yeah, but it's a pretty good deal. Not else for that. It's usually about $20. So yeah, a lot of things like that are on special. In fact, I wonder if that's on special in Australia. Sorry, this is going to be completely self-serving for a second. I'm just going to dive into the Australian site. I want to see if they have those available. Oh, hang on. I can probably go use my own links here. 10 DAC Australia. Yeah, look at that. And again, we pay more. And you can apply a 5% coupon. Always look out for these sort of things. So it's going to make me sign in, which I'm not going to. I'm not going to do right now. But yeah, look for those sort of things when you're shopping, because often you'll have those little additional coupon deals and things. So if there's already a discount, just have a look and see. Sometimes it's just a weird box you tick and it gives you another 5 or 10% off, and I don't know why. Adapters are wonderful. Adapters are wonderful if you use the right ones. Now, again, you've chosen your device and now you've got to get your adapter set up. If you've chosen a USB-C iPad or iPhone these days, then you will need a USB-C adapter. I like these ones from Atola. Atola make good quality gear. These are just simple and they work. So this has USB-C, USB-C power pass-through, and 3 USB 3 ports. So you got USB 3 speed on 3 ports. You got your USB-C connector, and you've got your Lightning USB-C power pass-through. And these are pretty much always discounted. This is a good point to pause and say that, you know when it says list price like that? That's the recommended retail price, the list price. Is that the price that you'll ever pay? Probably not. You probably won't pay that much. A lot of these things are kind of on like perma discount. So whenever you see these like 25% off and things like this, just take it with a grain or maybe even a shaker of salt, because yeah, more often than not, it's not actually ever been at that full price. But it doesn't mean it's not a good deal, because $12 for that. So yeah, that's actually really cool, because what I would do is, yeah, if you're using a USB-C based one, you can buy that. And if you're using the Lightning based, it does cost you a bit more to get started, because you do have to buy yourself both the Lightning to USB 3 adapter and a powered hub to get started. You can still use this gear with a Mac or a PC as well. You can still use a powered USB hub. In fact, it can be quite easy and better to do that, because the benefit of a powered hub, let's say you're using a MacBook or even a PC laptop, the benefit of grabbing a powered USB hub and connecting via that is all your gear is actually powered by a separate AC adapter. And especially if you're using a lower powered laptop, have you ever had that thing where it's like this device uses too much power, or suddenly your audio interface light starts flashing on and off? Yeah, that's often caused by not having enough power. So your PC or your Mac will have a power supply, and that will supply enough power for the processor and the hard drive and the monitor and all that sort of gear. But the more USB devices you plug in, especially high-powered ones like audio interfaces, mixers and the like, it's going to draw too much power. So I swear by a powered USB hub, and I think that everyone should have a powered USB hub. G'day, Dave Donahue. Hope things are going well over in Ireland. Thank you for joining us here. Falco says, I've seen third-party stuff work, but it's not usually worth the headaches. The Apple stuff just works. Correct. Yeah, I have too. And I've had people in my comments and in my chat arguing with me for hours about why I'm wrong and how they used a $2 Amazon adapter and it worked fine. And you know what? If you're willing to take the risk and you're willing to update your iPhone or your iPad to the next OS and it just brick it, then go for it. Go your hardest. But I've tried them. I've got a drawer full of them. Do I have access? Let's see. Do I have any of them right here? Yep, here you go. So here's one I prepared earlier. So I've bought all these. So I've tried things like this. Like, look at the quality of this thing here. Ooh, that's not great. The quality of that thing there. It's dodgy as, isn't it? Yeah, I've realised I don't have my my camera settings on. I was wondering why my picture was looking a bit weird. Did I mention that we're a bit janky here today? So yeah, you can pick things up like that for like $2 or $3 from Amazon or eBay, but they're either going to work or not work. And you might as well get something that works. Don't make, because it's the most important bit. Like having a device and then being able to plug stuff into it. Don't make that the linchpin, the absolute failure point of your gear. I think third-party adapters work better for Windows. Yes, correct. Because of MFI, which used to be called made for iPod. Now it's basically made for iOS. MFI means that Apple devices are specifically made to work with Apple, to the point where the reason I recommend that Lightning to USB 3 adapter is because it has a chip in it. So it actually has software. When you first plug it in, it goes and updates its firmware because it has a chip in it, whereas the other gear doesn't, and that means that it can go bad later in life, which you don't want. Let's talk about some more fun stuff, shall we? Audio interfaces. Someone mentioned it before. There are so many audio interfaces you can choose from. I've always used and recommended Steinberg. So if we check out the one that I go to, the Steinberg UR22C, look at this. This is actually on sale right now, which is a good deal. So this is one that the retail price is usually what you pay, $195. It's actually only $155.99 right now. So that's a pretty good deal. So this is the Steinberg UR22C. Hopefully this means that they're about to replace this one with a brand new one. So that's usually a good indication when you start getting cheaper prices. Then you're going to see a new one because Steinberg haven't updated this line for a while. They've updated the look of some of them, but they need to. We need to see some new Steinberg stuff. So the Steinberg UR22C is what I've been using for a long time. It's just a brick. It's a workhorse. It does what it needs to do, and it does it really well. The other one that many folks are aware of is the Focusrite. The Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 is kind of the industry standard for a reason, and it's a little more expensive for the latest 4th gen interface. There it is there. Looking all slick. They've actually completely remodeled these and changed the design entirely so that now they've only got the line input or the guitar on the front, and around the back on the booty, they've got the microphone inputs. So it's a different way to go as opposed to using jacks. Still got USB-C on there. So yeah, it's very similar to the 3rd gen. Here's the thing. I would actually, if I was getting a Focusrite Scarlett 2i2, I would steer clear of the 3rd generation. Why? Okay, so you can see on here, this has these buttons here. It has select auto, 48 volt, safe, instrument button there, and the air button. They're all hard buttons. And then you've got a direct button, which is your latency-free monitoring on and off. The 3rd generation, so if we go Focus, and in fact, I think they're actually on sale as well. Focusrite 3rd gen. Let's just find one of these. The Focusrite 3rd generation. This one here. So yeah, this one's on sale at the moment, and you might think that's a good deal for a 4 input, 4 output interface. $199.99. Let's grab that one. Do you notice anything different on the front? They've got lights, but where are the buttons at? There's a 48 volt button there, but I don't see any other buttons. I see instrument, air, and pad, but how do I turn those on and off? Well, here's the problem. The Focusrite 3rd gen, they made the decision, the weird decision, to remove the ability to set your settings on the actual device. You need to actually go into the assistant software, either on your Mac or your PC or your iOS device, and change it there. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't like software settings. I don't like if you want to change your inputs from an XLR, a microphone, to a line input or an instrument input, or you want to turn on or off that air feature, or you want to add or remove the pad. I don't want to have to go to a separate app every time I want to do that and change it. Now, are you changing it all the time? No, but is it going to be a pain in the ass when you just want to flick a switch to plug your guitar in instead of your mic, and you've got to go and find the app and do it there? Yeah, I agree, Danny. Dumb. Just dumb. The Audient Evo 8. Yeah, Bob Stewart. The Audient Evos are very good as well. Haven't used them perfectly. Haven't used them personally, but the Evos come in the 8 and the 4 varieties here. The Evo 8 is a pretty good deal. This has the auto gain feature. This has the 4 inputs there, 48 volts of phantom power, and you can actually do the selections right here on the device. It's a smaller device, so it's nice and portable for you. There you go. There's your 4 separate combo jacks that you have there, and you've got your 2 separate outputs, which is very, very cool. So yeah, have heard definitely good things about the Audient as well. And I think, does this one have 32-bit float? We were talking about this, no, 24-bit. So the vast majority of these devices are going to be 24-bit, which is probably what most people need. More devices now are supporting the latest 32-bit float, which is better, but not that necessary for a lot of folks. There's the M Audio interfaces are super affordable and pretty good. So if we go to M Audio, probably should have put audio interface there. So if you Still good quality, but let's just say budget. You need something that's going to be, super on the budget side. Look for something like this. So for $49, you can pick up this 2-in, 2-out M-Track Solo. So you can see there, this one has the line input, so your microphone input, your line input. All the buttons are right there. You can do your direct or your USB monitoring, and it's made out of metal. Now there's a brand that I'm not mentioning, which you can probably tell. And the reason I said if you're going super budget, go M Audio, is that there's another budget brand. I'm not going to throw them under the bus. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, you don't. And if you've got opinions on them that are different to mine, I don't. That's more power to you. I'm not fussy. Hugh uses the Audient ID44. Yeah, the ID44 is actually really nice as well, which is this one here. Is that the one that's 32-bit float? Yeah, this is the next level, the Audient interface, the ID40. This is the Mark II, the ID44. So yeah, so if you want something that's got a whole lot more and definitely has all the hardware switches, look at those. Look at those beautiful little flicking switches there. Lovely. I like it. Very cool stuff. Nice one. So yeah, audio interfaces, there's a whole heap of different options that you have that you can go with there. Yeah, the Audient Eva 8, worth a look and not expensive. There's a lot of different ones that can do. The one issue I've seen with a lot of interfaces when you want 2 instrument inputs, they provide. Yeah, and that's where I like the Steinberg UR22C because you can change it between the instrument or the so you can have 2 separate instruments. So if you want to have stereo line input or 2 instruments or 2 mics, you could do that. And the newer version of your Focusrite Scarlett, the 4th generation, allows you to do that. And ironically, I think the 2nd generation does. Hang on, let me have a look. Instrument. Yes, it does. So I'm just looking over there. I've got the 1st generation, the Scarlett 2i2 over there, and it does let you do that. Let me give you a quick warning here before we move on. Before we move off audio interfaces and onto our next topic, let's give you a little warning. Yeah, the Arturia are good too. I've never used it. Jade uses Arturia stuff, and good stuff, worth a look. Look at this. I've searched audio interface. The results that have come up the top here, these are sponsored results. Keep that in mind with stuff online. Your sponsored results are always going to flow up here to the top. Now, sometimes they'll be good, like this one. The overall pick here is actually the Focusrite Scarlett Solo 4th Gen. So that's probably a really good deal to buy there. But a lot of these other ones, do you notice something about the brands of these? They look very similar, don't they? They look like there's something familiar about them. Oh, look at this, a Cyber Monday deal for $69 for a Focusrite. Ooh, $69 Scarlett 2i2. Let's have a look at that. What is this $69 Scarlett 2i2? Oh, wait a minute. This is a... Anyone want to try that one? This is a Rugst. Now, I don't want to belittle any companies for wanting to get out there and have a crack and make their products, but it's definitely designed to kind of look like a Scarlett 2i2. And you find these everywhere now. You find these interfaces. They're even called 2i2 because they know that people know that the Scarlett 2i2 is the one. They won't say Focusrite. They won't say Scarlett. They've got all the same specs, but they don't have the quality, do they? They don't have the build quality. They all kind of fall out of the same factory, and they'll be labeled different brands. This one's Runst branded, but they'll be labeled with different brands. Let's see if we can find another comically named one. What's this one? This one looks good. $69.99. That's pretty good. This is just called USB audio interface, and look at that. Look at that font. In fact, that's not even straight. That's a photoshopped picture, clearly, because that's not how that looks. That's someone that's tried to put some slopey text in Photoshop on top of that. Or if that's actually what the top of that audio interface looks like, God help us. Oh, maybe it does. Wait, there's something about that doesn't quite look right. I don't know what it is, but something rubs me the wrong way about that. But yeah, so there are all of these knockoff versions. So when you search for audio interface, you get a lot of generic ones. I want to find another one with a cool name. The Sunbuck. Let's call this oh, look at that logo with the serif font. Oh, yeah. And look, it's even got the air button. They've just lifted and shifted everything. They've even called it Air, just like the Scarlett 202. Yeah. So look, if you want to save some coin, use these. But you know what? Buy the M Audio. Don't buy this for $53.59, even though it's a Cyber Monday deal. Buy an M Audio or a PreSonus or a Focusrite or a Steinberg. Or the other one that we didn't talk about before we move on is iRig. So iRig makes some amazing audio interfaces. We'll have a look over here on the what is this thing called? So you got the iRig Quattro, you got the iRig Pre, you got the iRig Pro Duo. If you want something specifically for your mobile setup in particular, yeah, the iRig stuff is really cool. And the new iRig X range of stuff. If we come back over here to Sweetwater. iRig audio interface. Save a buck with Sunbuck. There you go. Save a buck with Sunbuck. Yeah, so you got a bunch of cool options there for iRig. So the iRig Pro Duo, the iRig USB. Oh, that's a nice price for that one. Ooh, iRig USB guitar interface for Mac. I like it. I like the new logo too. Looks really good. So yeah, so there you go. If you just need guitar, that looks like a pretty good one. All right. Yeah, the iRig Quattro connected to my Mac. It's awesome. Yeah, I've got an iRig Quattro that I've only used very sparingly, and I think I need to start using it. Maybe I'll give that a go compared to my my Steinberg. Give it a comparison. All right. Let's move on from there. So. Okay, you've got yourself something connected up. Now, if you're just using MIDI, like if you're just using keyboards or synths or guitars, of course, you just plug in and play and record. But a lot of us want to record some actual real stuff. You want to record an acoustic guitar. You want to record yourself. You want to record your own sweet, serene voice. Well, guess what? You'll need yourself a microphone, won't you? And what microphone do you buy? Well, it depends. We've talked about microphones before, and I've given you the down low on all of my recommendations. The short version is the two main microphones you want to consider are a dynamic microphone or a condenser microphone. And I know, for folks who've been around this channel for a while, you know this rant. I'll keep it brief. I'll keep it short. The microphone here, the AKG D5, this is my recommended dynamic microphone. Let's see if we can find a deal on it. $119. No, so it's not on special here. But look at this, a price drop on the Shure SM58. So these are basically interchangeable. So the Shure SM58, this is the classic vocal mic that you'll see everywhere. A lot of people use this. The Shure SM58, it's a dynamic microphone. It is a bloody tank. It's rugged. You can hammer nails in with this thing, and it is just worth buying and having. Like I only don't have one because I have the AKG D5, which is very similar microphone with a very similar dynamic cardioid polar pattern. That means nothing to you. Don't worry about it. So why do you want a dynamic microphone? Well, if you are a singer, if you sing loudly, especially if you're a male singer or a rock singer, you're going to have a loud voice. You probably want to invest in a dynamic microphone. If you're miking up really loud, real guitar amps, you probably want yourself a dynamic microphone. So your loud sounds, you want a dynamic microphone. If you're in a very noisy environment, you probably want a dynamic microphone. So if you have a lot of background noise, if you live in an area that's particularly prone to noise, if you have buses that drive past, which don't know if you could hear that, then yeah, dynamic microphone, because they do a great job at rejecting noise. They're not as sensitive as other microphones we'll talk about in a sec, but they definitely reject a lot of noise. 57 and 58s, yeah. The other option you have is the SM57, so that's the SM58, the SM57. These are almost identical microphones. You can see how that one has the grill on there. The SM57 doesn't have a grill. So it's a very similar microphone, but the reason it's called an instrument microphone, this is more for miking up your guitar cabinets and miking up your louder instruments, because it doesn't have that. You know, you can get both. Grab both. Why not get both? Why not get both for just for $180? There you go, a twofer. So yeah, so there you can see the clear difference. So that has the grill and the foil there, which is basically acts as an additional pop filter. And this one still has a little grill at the top there, but is more directional and more for pointing at stuff. Capsule in here, the same. So don't be fooled by the fact that the top of them looks different. They use, I've heard identical. Some people say almost identical capsules as well. Love my Rode. Yeah, Rode mics are good too. Rode Gen 5 is a great mic for the price. We'll have a look at these in just a sec. SM7B. Yeah, so while we're talking about, you might have heard of the SM7B while we're talking about dynamic microphones. The SM7B is the one that you have seen if you've ever watched anything on YouTube, if you've ever listened to a podcast, they're all using these, the SM7B. So it's a dynamic cardioid microphone. It's just a lot higher quality. I'm not going to this of gain, but sometimes if you're using sort of consumer level audio interfaces, you need quite high gain, and sometimes you don't have enough gain or enough volume to push these microphones. So you're better off sticking with an SM58 or 57 at that point. All right. A Sennheiser E, yeah, so 2001, exactly. The Shure Beta 57 has the grill, but a couple more dollars. Yeah, so there's variations on a lot of these. What do you think about the S version of the SM58 with the on-off switch? S version's fine, so it's a good point. SM58S. So why do you need a switch? Why would you want a switch on your microphone and pay an extra $5 for a switch? Well, for live application. So if you're in the studio, I wouldn't bother. It's going to cost you an extra $5, and I don't think you really need a switch. If you're doing it for live work, if you're doing it for podcasting and you want to be able to turn it off and on, so it's like a clock. If you're doing live work and you want to be able to turn the mic off so that it's not picking up noise when it's not being used, yeah. But they're the exact same microphone. The S version simply has a switch there that turns the circuit on and off as you flick it. So yeah, no problems getting it. It's not any better or worse, but it's for live applications. So let's go to my other recommendation here, which is the Audio-Technica AT2020. Let's see, is it on sale? It is! Now, it's not on as good a sale. I reckon, Thomas Christ, correct me if I'm wrong, I reckon you picked up one of these for $49 last year around this time. So it definitely does go on sale, and it has been cheaper than this before. But it actually is usually sitting at $99 at the moment, just $79. And if you are buying one microphone and you don't have a really, really noisy environment, buy this. Just buy this, because if it's your first microphone, $79. It's a good mid-range. And the thing about a microphone like this is it's a condenser microphone. It needs phantom power. Now, pretty much every audio interface you're going to buy has phantom power. Even the Starbucks, what was it? Sawbuck? Sunback? Save bucks with Sunbucks. Even the cheapest, dodgiest audio interfaces have phantom power. So you're going to be able to drive this no problem. Any of your audio interfaces or your mixers, but the difference is that it's a cardioid microphone and is a condenser microphone, so it picks up a lot more of the sound around you. Doesn't have as good a noise rejection, and it's a lot more sensitive. Great for acoustic guitar, great for female vocals or very light vocals, great for wind instruments and very sort of quiet, softer instruments. Not so great for really loud vocals, not so great for miking up guitar cabinets. So see what we're going with here? But you can still use it for those things, you just get a bit further off of it. So this is what I'm saying. If you're just going to buy one microphone, if you're going to buy two microphones, SM58 or AKG D5 and something like this. Now, this is very similar to people were talking about before, the Rode NT1A, very similar sort of microphone, but just a little more costly. There's other microphones from AKG and from Shure. Basically, anything that you see that's around this mark, that's around about that price, and it's a medium or large diaphragm condenser microphone, is what you're looking for here. Yes, cardioid as opposed to cardiologist. Although, interesting point, fun fact, Tremor Bear, do you know why it's called a cardioid? Do you know why the polar pattern's called a cardioid? It's because it looks like a heart. It's actually based on that. So the cardioid polar pattern, does it have it? No, it doesn't have it in the specs here, does it? Or maybe specs. Let's see if it has a picture of the polar pattern. No, it's just got them written there. But if you look it up and you look for cardioid polar pattern, it'll actually show it. No, won't go there. Yeah, it's that heart shape. So it's that shape that goes around like that because it comes around the back of it, and it's that heart-shaped polar pattern. There you go. Doubles as a stethoscope. Big effing deal. A Rode NTK picks up a fleece. Oh, no. Well, yeah, and here's the thing. The microphone I'm using right here, right now, I always worry about doing this test because I have to bring it back down. But just for a moment, listen to how I've got the gain set so that you're not hearing the background noise. And look, there's not much here because I'm in the studio environment and I've got set up here so that you don't have a lot of reflections or you don't hear a lot of noise. But let me just turn it up for a sec and take a listen. I think you could hear the water in the pipes just then. So we'll turn the gain back down there. So yeah, it really does pick up here. And this is a handheld condenser microphone. So it has even better rejection. But if I was holding an AT2020 and I turn up the volume, man, does it pick up a lot of stuff. So yeah, yes, I've been trapped inside my heart-shaped microphone. That's why I use the pod mic to record for everything but the intricate stuff. Yeah, look, there's other things. The Rode pod mic is really good. I've had good feedback about that. I know that Leela and Jade use that. It's probably my next microphone that I'll invest in because I need like a broadcast style dynamic microphone. So that is this one here, which looks like it's a pretty good deal right now. 99 bucks. Yep. Actually, I think that's always 99 bucks. So yeah, the Rode pod mic there, which is another option you have, which is a dynamic microphone. Yeah, it kind of sound like a toilet flushing there, didn't it? All right, how are we going? We're going to go overtime today, by the way, because this is the makeup show, as you probably guessed, the makeup show for not doing it the other day. Because I've been unwell. By the way, thank you again to everyone for your messages of wellness, and they've been very kind. Oh dear, do we talk headphones? Whew. Yeah, let's talk headphones for a moment. So, if you're looking for headphones, yeah, you can probably go into a store and check them out. Headphones are the most personal thing. I use these ones. I love them. I know some people hate them, and they're on sale at the moment. So, they're $79. I love these for a few reasons. I like the very flat sound that they produce. I haven't found a more comfortable set of headphones in terms of the padding and the ear cup shape. I love me a curly cord, so any headphones that have a curly cord on it, I like the screw-on plug there because I've had too many plugs that have been dodgy and clunky at the end there. So these are my headphones and I like them. However, they're not for everyone. And yeah, headphones are like clothes, so hard to recommend. They're one of the few things that I reckon you need to go into a music store. Like I remember doing this show 2 years ago, and I said, well, you just buy them and then return them. But do yourself a favor, go into your local store. Don't tell them you're not going to buy anything, but go into your local store and just try a few on because I like these ones, and a lot of people swear by AKG. And in fact, did I see AKG ones were on sale at Amazon? I think I saw the AKG 240s, which are like the entry level headphones. Yeah, there you go. So you got yourself a Cyber Monday deal on these things, the AKG 240s, which a lot of people use. And these are usually $79, at the moment $49. I actually bought a pair of these. I tried it. I did. I went out there and tried it. My problem is I got a weird giant melon. I've got long ears. And look at the shape of those cups. They're round. Now, for some people, that's beautiful and perfect. And it creates a great isolation. And it's exactly what they want. For me, no. They're semi-open, as it says they're semi-open technology. So these ones are not closed back headphones. They are semi-open, which means if you're using them for recording, you're going to get a little bit more bleed in there, which is not exactly what you want to do. The trick to mixing with headphones is to get used to the sound they produce compared to monitors. If you can, then you'll notice a good... Exactly right. Thomas has the HD280s and like them. Bob uses those. Yep. And yeah, and I know they are indeed comfortable. They're comfortable to use. Thanks for letting us know. No problem at all. We had the AKG 240 in all the major studios from the 90s. I just hated them. Yeah. And that's the thing. Some people love them. Some people swear by them. I really can't stand them. Because they're not comfortable for me. The other thing that a lot of people use is the Audio Technica headphones. So if we just go Audio Technica headphones, we'll see if any of these have got a good deal on them at the moment. They usually have, so Audio Technica have everything from like the 20s through the 50s, the 30s. So there's a few different ones. The comparable ones to what we're looking at here are probably the 40Xs here, and they are $20 off at the moment as well. So, but again, Round, yeah. So these are your closed back studio monitoring. So these are the ones that you'd compare directly to those HD 280s. But again, they're just slightly different. They have the round cups there. They still have a curly cord. And I guess the benefit of these is they do actually at least have the detachable cable. And it looks like these ones actually come with both, which is pretty cool. So yeah, just look around and try a few out. In fact, the Audio Technicas aren't as bad. They're not as rounded in the cups. You can see they've got a slightly more oblong-shaped cup there. But the key to headphones, a couple of great points. I have a melon head, locally known as Neep Head. There you go. Got the ATX 50 is great, yeah. So the 50, which is the next one up from these ones, is what Mark has, and they work for him. The Sony 7506 are the other options that you have there. So they are they've been around for like 40 years. If you've been to studios back in the day, if they didn't have AKGs, they probably had a pair of these here, the Sony 7506s that they've been producing. And again, they've got a good deal for those at the moment. These have a similar, not quite the same padding on the head, but these have similar cup shapes and sizes. I've not used these in decades, like not since I actually recorded in studios, which is like 20, 30 years ago. But yeah, these seem to have a similar kind of shape and size and decent sort of quality, and the curly cable. In fact, maybe I'll try these. Maybe I should pick up a pair of the 7506s, because they're definitely the other option that you have there. I have the AKGs, but I really want to try to figure out how to hook up and make my reliable my Bose 700 series. Yeah. I guess the other thing to mention about headphones, I didn't really go into detail here. For mixing and for mastering and doing that sort of stuff, a lot of people say you need speakers. We'll talk about that in a moment. But you want to have studio monitors. So monitors, headphones, as opposed to anything that does any sort of bass boosting or any sort of coloring to your sound. So we're talking like Beats by Ray, that sort of stuff. They're not going to be good for your mixing or your mastering, because they're going to add bass, and then you're not going to know exactly how much bass you have. I mean, you can learn your way around it. As someone said before, you can learn your way around any sort of headphones. But if you start with the reason that your monitor headphones are as flat as possible is that you don't hear any extra bass, any extra treble. There's no boosts in there, so you don't have to worry and spend your time trying to work out how much bass has been added. Bluetooth headphones are an absolute no-no. Hopefully for obvious reasons, but I'll tell you anyway, they actually degrade the sound quality, because the Bluetooth audio is a compression format, so it won't give you the full high-resolution audio and the delay or the latency that you'll get. So you can technically mix and master on them, because latency and delay don't really matter, but you cannot track or record using those headphones, because you'll be hearing the sound too late. You'll be playing along, it'll sound like you're playing in time, and then you'll listen and it won't be in time. It'll be way out of time. Rode ones are comfy. I hate stuff on my ears, and I can wear them for a whole live stream. There you go. So yeah. So the thing about this is, it's almost like it doesn't matter what you buy, because there's a lot of good stuff out there. We are actually blessed. There was a time where there wasn't this level of high quality gear that you could buy, like buying an audio interface. So if you went out there, if you bought those $50 AKGs, you bought that $50 M Audio interface, and then you bought a $79 AKG Audio Technica 220 microphone, $180, and you've got yourself an audio interface, a pair of studio monitor headphones, and a good quality mic. Come on, man! Like that's ridiculous. And spending $300 or $400, and you got yourself an amazing rig. So yeah, good stuff. Quality abounds. What about studio monitors? We just talked about that. Monitor speakers. How important is it to have monitor speakers? Well, we could do an entire show just about the difference between headphones and studio monitors, why you need a good pair of monitor speakers, why you need studio sound treatment and reflection panels and all the rest of it. But I don't want to, because I don't want to. But yeah, if you do want to kind of take your mixing and your mastering to the next level, at some point you probably will want to invest into some monitor speakers. Now, for the home studio and for my mobile setup and even for my desktop setup here, I used to use some KRK Rockets. They were good. I liked them. They did the job. And I actually downgraded. I still have the Rockets in the cupboard there. They're so big and bulky, I've never sold them, because I'd have to ship them to someone if they bought them. So they're kind of my backups. But the PreSonus Iris speakers have been a bloody godsend. So I bought these on the recommendation of Mark Bro and others in this community 2 years ago, and I plugged them in to test them, and I've never unplugged them. They just stayed in because they sound so good. They punch above their weight so far that it's kind of unbelievable. Now, these are the new models. These are the Gen 2, the second generation, and they're $99.99 for the 3.5 inch. Why do I love these? Well, I've gone into detail about them. They have a volume control on the front for starters. That's super handy. A lot of speakers don't. Their volume's around the back. That's annoying. You have aux-in and headphone jacks right at the front. They have the power button on the front. Again, my KRK Rockets have the power on the back. If you just want to shut down all sound, sometimes it's handy to be able to do that. And in terms of the connectivity, they're kind of next level in terms of the price here. So you have the ability to have balanced or unbalanced. You've got acoustic tuning on the back there. And yes, you do connect to speaker via speaker cable. So they're not both powered, which is what some people, if you're a speaker purist, you'd look down your nose at that. But you know what you can't look down your nose at? $99 for a pair of monitor speakers. And again, I know people will say, oh, if your monitor speakers are anything less than $500 each, then just not worth buying. But those are people that are at a different level. They're on a different plane. They're worried more about things. They don't want to just make good music and do it on a budget. They've got if you got $500 a speaker to buy speakers, it's great. Go buy speakers. Go listen to Warren Hewitt and go listen to folks that are going to tell you about that. But for me, these is just amazing. These are amazing. And the other good thing is the 4.5 inch version are actually on sale because they're trying to run out the older models. So if we put Presonus Iris here in for your speakers, check this out. $80 off for these. So these used to be $199 and currently they are $119.99. So see how it's got, these are the ones I have, the first gen. They just have the little blue label there instead of the white label. That's all I can find in terms of the difference, to be honest. So if I was buying right now, I would race out. I would dive at this offer, and the same offers on Amazon too. I checked before the show. So these are actually, let's make it, let's stamp it as Pete's deal of the year. Pete's deal of Cyber Monday and Black Friday is, and a lot of people are probably in this position right now where you're like, do I really need monitor speakers? I don't have a big space, but I want some good quality sound. This is it. This is the one. 4.5 inch monitor speakers for $119 a pair, and they're ones that I've used before, and they have all the advantages. Yeah, just yes. Just yes. And again, they get good reviews. So for Sweetwater crowd, pretty discerning crowd. 4.5-star reviews there. And Sweetwater makes sure that their reviews are legit, so you know that they're good. You can learn any speaker. Most of us mixed on NS10 and made hits. Exactly. And that's the thing. Sometimes you don't want the best speakers, because guess what? People aren't listening on great speakers these days. A lot of people are listening on their phone speakers. If my children are listening to your music, they're listening through teeny little iPhone speakers. So, yeah, you don't need to spend all the money. Event 2020 bus-powered midfields used are really affordable and sound amazing. Yeah, there's definitely. Warren currently likes his focals at 4,000 each. Yeah, exactly. So 500 each, not enough. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Cost of a steak dinner. Yeah, save yourself one steak dinner and pick yourself up some good quality speakers. All right. Yeah, cool. So that's your setup. So you got yourself some headphones, you got microphones, you got audio interface, you got speakers. What else? Well, I'm not going to spend a heap of time on everything else because we are already over the time. KRK Rockets are great. KRK Rockets, they were my first monitor speakers. They are great. So they're just about 3 times as much. So if you've got more to spend, and again, speakers are probably another thing. I would go and check. Go to a music shop. Bring some of your music. Bring the gear that you'll be playing it through if you can. Yeah, they'll let you do it. If they're a good place, they'll let you bring your own stuff and plug it through and listen. And the other good thing is, as Chuck says here, it's a great place to listen to music. I just sit here and listen to, like, I'll watch the happy hours, like the opening hour in Thomas Christ Live, and I'll listen to my own music. Like, I'll listen to Tool here, and it's just nothing like having a good pair of speakers that yeah, you can just crank up and listen to good music. So the other sort of things here, so if we look at, say, the desktop setup here, mixers, we won't go into mixers here today, but the other thing that you may want to consider, the last thing that I'll talk about here, well, actually two more things, because I want to show you one more thing, is keys. So if you're a keyboard player, or even if you're not a keyboard player, you might want a MIDI keyboard controller. This has been my go-to for the longest time, the M Audio Key Station. It is just, in my opinion, the best balance between price and quality. It's simple, it has everything you need and nothing you don't, and it's just a good quality, touch-sensitive, 49-key MIDI keyboard. So why would you need a MIDI keyboard? Well, you can play drums on them. They're great for programming in drums. If you're not a keyboard player and you're like, why would I need that? Well, yep, you can actually play your drums through here. They're great for playing just pads, like pad sounds. So even if you're not playing like full keyboard parts, you can play pad sounds there. You can obviously add in your melodies. So it won't be for everyone. Not everyone needs a MIDI keyboard, but you may want to try one. And actually a cool one that I think is fun is the smaller version of this one. This little sucker here. If you've never owned a MIDI keyboard before, just pick up something like this. Look, Akai make them too, but they're a little bit more expensive. And like Arturia make MIDI keyboard. They're heap, but I'm just going with the basics and what I've used and what I recommend. But this little thing is cool. If you just want something that you can tap out some drums to, or just lay down some pad sounds underneath your tracks, yeah, really, really cool. So they're my recommendations, and they're over on the Gear Guide as well. So what JBL wireless earbuds for casual listening. They sound awesome. I was looking for something below. Yeah, look, wasn't going to talk about this, but while you're if you come down to my headphones, I actually use and recommend JBL when it comes to headphones. So the Endurance Run and the Inspire, these are the ones I use to this very day for wired headphones. These Endurance Run, they're often out of stock, as they are right now, so we can't actually get them at the moment. But yeah, the JBL, let's just see if they've got the wireless versions in here. Endurance Run, because they often don't sell the wired ones too much. Although the Endurance Peak for $69, which is a limited time deal. All the Tune Flex, I've never used those. Those look all right. But yeah, JBL, in terms of price and quality, if you're just looking for a really good deal, those are usually $100. They're half price. It's going to cost me $26 to ship it. But yeah, the JBL, if you're not going to go up to like AirPods, then they're the ones that I use and recommend. They're cool. Didn't need gear this year, but needed help with my weakness. Got Easy Drummer 3 with a couple of extra packs. Yeah, there's some really good stuff. Check out Jade's app reviews. There's some good apps that are still on sale. There's some good software, some good plugins. There's all sorts of cool stuff that you can check out. What do I think about the Beatmaker 3 app? I haven't used Beatmaker 3. I've always wanted to. I own it. It's sitting here on my iPad. I've just never used it. It doesn't gel with the way that I don't really make beats. So I start more with guitars and vocals and riffs and chord progressions. So it hasn't really been, but people that love it, love it. Yeah. So Beatmaker 3, it's worth looking at. Who is it? Is it Henny the Business that uses Beatmaker 3 a lot? I've definitely watched some of his videos. So yeah, it's not kind of my not my forte, but yeah, definitely good stuff. The one final thing I wanted to talk about, just for fun, JFF, is my guitar. So if you want to have the guitar that I have, I just like to show this because I like it. It's my Taylor, and it's on sale. Yeah, so this is a guitar that I use, my acoustic guitar, available on Sweetwater. It is a beautiful thing. It is, look, it's the entry-level Taylor. It's the 110E. It's just a beautiful sounding instrument. If you've heard the Happy Hour, you've heard me play it. If you've heard any of my songs that I've recorded, they're recorded using this very guitar. It is my go-to. It comes with this case, which is an amazing travel case. Soft case, but soft but hard. You know how some soft cases don't feel? Like this has got sort of those solid protective bits around the edges that just make you feel good about it. And yeah, it is great. If you're in the market, say you've got an acoustic guitar, your first acoustic, and you're looking for your second or your third acoustic, cannot recommend enough the Taylor 110. Yeah, you can go to the 3 series and the 5 series, but Yeah, the Taylor. I know, the Signature Series Taylor. Imagine if I got that. Oh no, the ex-wife got the Taylor in the reverse. Yeah. Mixers, yeah, mixers are too complicated to start with. I never recommend going with a mixer as your first audio capture device. Always go audio interface. Mixers just add an extra layer of complexity that you don't, unless you're doing live stuff, you just don't need that extra layer of complexity. So there you go, a bit of fun. Are there any amazing deals out there that we found? Kinda. I love the fact, like for $200, you could pick up a pair of Sennheiser HD 280s and a pair of Presonus 4.5-inch monitor speakers. I think that's bloody marvelous deal. Would steer clear of those Focusrites as well as the Starbucks, whatever they were, the audio interfaces. The Focusrites are great, but go the fourth generation, the third gen. The reason that they went from third gen to fourth gen so quickly is because the third gen had some challenges. Still love my Steinberg stuff. Still love IK Multimedia stuff a lot. Love my Taylor guitar, as I mentioned. Microphone wise, Shure on special, you can't go wrong. You're never going to get Shure microphones for half price, but just getting $10 off your Shure SMs 57s and 58s is a good deal. And the final thing I'll say is don't underestimate the power of the other stuff you need to buy. Guitar strings, cables, XLR cables, guitar picks. So if you are in the market for buying any of that sort of stuff, any of those sort of consumable items, now's the time to do it. So just go on there. For instance, what was it that I was looking for? I was looking for some cables. So if you just go, so I like using the D'Addario electric guitar cable, and where is it? No, it's the Ernie Ball. It is not D'Addario's the strings. Ernie Ball guitar cable. And quite often, these are the ones I use, these instrument cable, the braided instrument cables. Quite often, you'll see deals on these. Now, just to prove me wrong, they're not at the moment, just to show that Johns is wrong. But look, there's others. You might come down here and go, oh, maybe I don't need the Ernie Ball. Maybe I'll try one of these ones because look, they're on sale there. Or maybe you'll go for some picks here. So the Tortex. Oop, not typing with me. Not typing with me. Quite often, you can pick up the Tortex guitar picks, which is what I use, and there'll be deals on those. And again, they're proving me wrong. They're just holding up their middle finger to me to prove to me that none of the stuff that I buy is on sale. Well, there you go. You won't win them all. But do shop around for the stuff that you're just going to buy anyway. Between now and Christmas is a really good time to stock up because come January, the prices sort of go back to normal. And then the start of the year, things are usually more expensive. And the final thing I'll say is gear does not make or break your songs. So don't watch all of this or listen to me and then say, I can't make music now because I don't have the gear. Guess what? You've probably got a smartphone sitting in your pocket. And these things have pretty darn good built-in microphones these days. And you can plug a pair of earbuds into them. You can buy a $10 pair of earbuds and then record using the built-in microphone on here. You can just use GarageBand. You can tap on your screen of your iPhone or your Android device and create cool sounds. So you don't need all the gear. You can get it done without all the stuff. How was the audio quality throughout this? If the popping and crackling was there, looks like we're back to Firefox next time, which is sad because I did it again, did the test, 0 pops and clicks in the test, and everything worked well. And then you do it for reals and it goes through. But I figured we had to try it. I now think that Barry's battered old Taylor sounds better. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes with age, they actually improve. Thank you everyone for being here. Still some crackles. Yeah, okay. We're back. We're back. All right. So thank you everyone. Thank you Tom, Mark, Tremor Bear. Thank you. No, thanks. Chuck. Oh no. Fighting over a toaster. Yeah, I would not want to. I would not want to be a divorce lawyer. The fakers. That's what I'm going to call them now. The fakest right, not Scarlets. Yeah, I do love the sound of a Taylor. Yep, Taylors do sound good indeed. Eastman Guitars is the recommendation from there, from Hugh Caldwell. Yeah, again, guitars are fun ones to go and have a play with in the store. That guy, go on, do it. All right, that is going to do it. That is going to do it for this show and for this week's live streams. I'm pretty happy that we got through all of them bar one. and we kind of got to make up for that here today. So that's a good thing. We will be back next weekend. We've got the usual suspects. Got a big Your Music Live coming up. We've got a happy hour where I'm doing all 3, 4, and 6, 8 time songs, which is going to be fun. All the waltzes will be on the happy hour, and back for Garage. Oh yes, GarageBand Weekly next week. Let me just check, because I got to make sure I've set this up so that you can go there and set yourself a reminder. I haven't. I better check this. I'll set that there. There you go. So as soon as I drop you out of this show, you'll be sent into the lobby for next week's show. It's GarageBand Weekly episode 200. Yes, we've been doing this show for nearly 5 years now. 200 episodes will be in the can next week. And I've got me old mate Patrick from the GarageBand guy. Oh, Jesus. I was promised there'd be no bad accents. Sorry, Patrick. But Patrick will be joining me. We'll be chatting about all things GarageBand, reminiscing about the last 4 years and all the changes that GarageBand has gone through. So I hope you can join me for that one, the big 200 indeed. Thanks everyone for being here. As we say at the end of each and every show, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, keep creating, and I'll see you next time. You're on Studio Live today. Bye for now.